What are you laughing at? You can't make me wait 10 minutes and then laugh at me.
Yeah,
as soon
I'm
as the
sorry.
fucking
I'm
show
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
starts.
sorry. I'm sorry. I had one of those days where I was like, fucking on Zoom since 6:30 this morning until right now, and what am I doing? I'm still on fucking Zoom.
Oh
So,
God. Yeah.
always happens when I get back from these trips. Oh, by the way, I'm back in Australia. It's awesome
Yeah.
to be in
Oh,
the
I
right
was, I
time
was going to do
zone.
the guess who's back thing, and I
Guess he's
totally forgot
back.
because you
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
laughing at me.
Then we'll get copyright struck. So yeah.
True.
What's going
Um,
on? Have you got a
you got a
beer?
beer?
I've got a beer.
This is the first time you've had a beer on this podcast in 3 weeks.
Fuck yeah, because it's I can't drink beer at 10 o'clock in the morning and that sort of thing.
Oh,
I've got one of my
I don't
clients'
agree with that
beers
advice, but
from South Africa. I've got a South
oh,
African beer.
nice.
Yeah,
Go on,
I've got
show
this
us.
Stark Brews, King of the Mountain, Golden Ale.
Well, that
Look
works
at that.
well with the theme.
What have you got? Status Quo, Pale Ale, Mountain Culture. Oh, King of the Mountain versus Mountain Culture.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a fight. It's a
I took
fight. You got
60
to do the
photos.
screenshot thing? Oh,
I did
good.
it 50 times.
Well done.
All
I
right,
didn't know.
let's do a
This
live.
glass is I'm just going to say is filthy, but not as filthy as that fucking glass I had in Cape Town. Did you see that photo?
I don't know if I did see that photo. Did you put it? Where'd you put it?
I put it in the Boston Brewer Facebook group. Do you know where the Boston
Oh,
Brewer Facebook group is?
uh, why don't you tell us?
It's facebook.com/groups/ Boston the Brewer.
Apparently, I'm not in there.
And
But other than
let
that,
me
it's a
share
good
my
spot.
yeah, I've heard of it. All right. So let me just share my screen and then you can see what I'm talking about. There. Look at that glass.
Oh, God. Oh no.
Did you not see that photo when I
Oh, I
posted
don't
it?
know. No. Oh my
Fuck,
God.
that's phenomenal. I
That's
can't even do it
crazy.
that I can't even do it that good,
No.
right? And this brewery, oh no, sorry, Devil's Peak is not owned by Heineken. It's Jack Black is owned by Heineken. And my God, that was just she just brought that fucking glass over, and I just looked at it and I went, you've outdone me.
How long
You know
did
what I
did
did?
how long did the head last in the glass? Did it dissipate quickly, or
I
was it
think there's quite a bit of Tetra in it. It lasted a fair way, more than
right?
what I thought.
Okay.
Right. So you know what I did with that beer next?
You drank the shit out of it?
I fucking drank it. Yep.
Yep. That's
Because I was
good.
desperate and I'm an idiot. And all the comments in the Facebook group saying, send it back, send it back. Nah, fuck, I'd fucking drink it.
What percentage of people do you think would be served that beer and think that it looked great? Like where you were served it and in that
That
context,
was
what percent
literally
do you think?
at the gate at the airport at Cape Town Airport.
Okay.
And boy oh boy. And even look at this glass, right? That's actually not bad this week.
I mean, it's a
Not
lot
bad at
fucking better than
all.
the other one.
It's not better than the exactly. So the bar has been set really low now, and so no matter what I do with this glass, I'm a fucking winner.
True, but that's yours. That's not someone else's.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I
I
reckon
know.
most people would see that glass and see all the bubbles in it and think it was awesome.
To the untrained eye, perhaps that
Yeah.
might be the case. That's not a bad beer. That's
Nice.
just a straight up multi golden ale kind of thing.
Very good. Oh, there's a fucking storm here. My dog will be freaking out upstairs.
I made a beer with Rob Stark from Stark Brews in just outside of Cape Town. He's got
Rob
this
Stark and Rockstar.
Rob Stark, as in
Rob
Game
Stark
of
and
Thrones.
Rockstar. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good collab.
And it was good. He's got this little fucking 500, 600 litre brewery, very manual system. And we made the beer scene in Cape Town, it just shits all over Johannesburg.
Yeah, right. That's good. I'm trying to think of where we were last time when you talked to you. You were on your way to Cape Town, I think.
Yeah,
Possibly
I think I
last week.
was no, I was in Cape
Oh,
Town.
you were in Cape Town. Yeah.
Yeah. So I literally just arrived and I was just having a quiet, relaxing day.
Yeah.
I was very tired after did the Capital Craft Beer Festival, did the
The
Beer Boot Camp
non-RSA
conference.
festival.
It was very non-RSA,
Yeah.
and you could buy weed, so
Yep.
you don't need RSA when there's weed. And there was Jack Daniels thing there. I didn't get any Jack Daniels though. Did I tell you what happened with my Jack Daniels experience at that festival?
Yeah, you told us about the festival last week.
Yeah.
But I
Okay, let's
think
not. I won't repeat that then.
no. But I think it was only like the day or two after that. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you must have just
Um,
arrived in Cape Town.
yeah. I so I arrived in Cape Town. I was quite tired. I was going to go do Table Mountain. And I decided that fuck it, I was going to have a couple of days where I just did nothing. So I basically slept in, went onto the balcony, drank beer, walked across to the Mojo market to get food, went to the supermarket to get beers and stuff, come back, afternoon snooze, back down to Mojo market. I did fuck all. It was great.
Nice. So it's
Cape Town's
basically a
such a
holiday.
fucking beautiful town.
You had a
Yeah, it
1 day
was
holiday
yeah, one
amongst
day holiday.
your field trip.
Mm. Went and did some breweries around Cape Town. I'm going to give you a beer. I'm going to somehow get this beer to you. I may
Okay.
bring it down the Gold Coast. This is how important this beer is, right? That you
Sponsored
need
beer.
to try. Absolutely. So from a brewery called Aegir Project, AEGIR, Aegir Project,
All right.
and Rory, who's the owner and brewer there, this guy's fucking shit hot. His beers are phenomenal.
Nice.
I'm talking world class, and I've got a Baltic Porter for you, 9.2% Baltic Porter.
Jeez. Okay.
That
All right.
that nearly brought me to tears. It was that
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
good. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
There you go.
You know what I'm like with fucking standards and shit when it comes to beer. This beer was phenomenal.
Wow.
You remember, Michael from Poland?
Mm.
If we gave him that beer, it would make him cry too. And he's Polish.
Right. Fair enough.
That's how fucking good this beer was, right?
Oh, that's
and
good.
the pizzas.
Oh.
Holy fuck me sideways. These pizzas were amazing.
Awesome.
I'm talking life-changing pizza.
Wood fire oven?
Yep. The softest dough you've ever had in your life.
Love that shit.
Like truffle oil and broccoli and oh my God, my mouth's just watering thinking about it. I want to fly back.
Pizza and beer
These
is just the perfect match.
Oh, absolutely. These pizzas were absolutely to fucking die for.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Mm.
Very good. It's been a while since I had sponsored beer too. I bought all of these. Wait, what have I got in here?
What have you got anyway?
Well, I've got the Mountain Culture one, but I've got 3 other drinks in there that you can choose which one I have.
Okay,
But
cool.
this one's like
one of
halfway
them's
through,
going to be red wine. Oh, I
No,
bought some red wine as
none
well.
of them are none of them are wine.
I bought some red wine. I'm sorry, I didn't bring any red wine, but
Pinotage?
bought a couple of bottles of Pinotage. Actually,
Nice.
no, I've got a Cab Sav and a Pinotage, but South African.
Okay. Did you go to a winery?
No.
Bottle shop.
Yep.
Nice.
It was so cheap. Do you know like alcohol's so fucking cheap there?
Yeah,
Do you know how much
that.
you know how much a bottle of Jack Daniels is?
I can't remember, but I remember it was cheap.
26 bucks.
Jesus Christ.
It's cheaper than duty free to get Jack Daniels at a bottle shop in South Africa.
What if I can move to South Africa?
Fucking oath, I would totally go to Cape Town, mate. If you're going to move anywhere, go to Cape Town.
A bit dicey though,
That place. No, it's fine.
You scared at all?
Just,
You're fine.
No, just duck
worried.
the bullets. It's okay.
Yeah. Do you reckon these Brewers Flanos are bulletproof? They're bullet resistant, right?
Yeah. Is it a Gladfield one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, amazing. Anyway, what do you got?
All right. I wanted to start with a public service announcement about Adzy's Danger Dust, right? Because
what is Danger Dust?
So Adzy gave me probably 30 different types of chili seeds, right? And then he gave me 2 little pouches of dust. And
I've got one of those.
No, it's not whatever you've got. It's not white. If that's what you're talking about.
No. I've got one of Adzy's little fucking baggies of Danger Dust.
Okay. Right. So, what you've got the Danger Dust one? Is it called Adzy's Danger Dust?
No, but it tastes like danger.
What's it called? Go have a look at it right now and see what it's called. Because every single one of mine had names all over them. There's like different names for everything. There was about 20 different packets of seeds, and then there was one that was a dust that was like pineapple, smoked pineapple, and something else, and then there was the Danger Dust one.
Right, I've got this one.
Okay, what's that one?
It doesn't have a name. I think this is before
Doesn't even
Adzy's
have a
name in there.
name. Oh my god.
No.
What
What do you reckon? Is that
have you
what
used it?
what you
I mean,
got? Does that look like what you
looks
got?
very similar. Looks very
Have you
similar. I won't lie.
did you snort this?
Well, no, no, I didn't. I didn't, but I'll tell you what happened.
I fucking dare you. Go on.
No. Well, what happened was I got all this shit and I didn't know what I'm doing. So I messaged him and I was like, what do I do with all this shit? Like, am I supposed to eat the powder and then plant the seeds, which I assumed was logical? And he's like, yeah. And then he told me all the shit about the seeds. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I planted all the seeds and then
In Darren's garden.
in little seedling pots and everything, got little seedling thingies and put them out in the garden and everything. And then at the end, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, just make sure you don't plant them until summer because they hate the cold.
Fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake, Adzy. Not that I'm complaining because it's amazing you gave me all these seeds, but
Did they grow or did they die?
I mean, they're just sitting out there in dirt. They're definitely not going to grow. It's freezing fucking cold.
Well, just leave them there. They'll grow in the summer.
Okay, I'll leave them there. And then I put the danger dust thing in the chili con carne. Well, Aaron did. I didn't. And that was, no, not the danger dust, the pineapple one. And that was good.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
last night we made fried chicken, right?
Mhm.
And I wanted to make some sauce with it. And I was like, why don't we put some dust with mayo or something to make a hot sauce, right?
Oh,
And so we better try it first. So we both, me, Will, and Aaron both got like a tiny little bit of it. Aaron put it on her mouth. Will put it on his mouth, and they both looked at me. They didn't say anything, and I was like, "Fine, whatever." And I put it on my mouth. It burnt the fuck out of my face, and they were just pretending like it wasn't fucking with them. And as soon as they realized I'd eaten it, they just lost their shit and started sweating and drinking water. And
so they can't.
Yeah.
So they can handle the heat, and you can't.
no, they were pretending it was fine so that I would eat it.
Oh, and then they just go fuck.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So
if that shit is the same shit that I've got, do not eat that shit.
I tried a little bit when Adzy gave this to me, and it's hot.
Try it right
hot.
now. I dare to
No.
put some in your beer.
No, fuck off. No.
All right. Well, there you go. There's the warning. I mean, it's
Danger
not related
dust.
to
Oh, I feel I've got it on
brewing
my
at all, but
hands. Don't
there
lick
you
your
go.
hands, Hendo.
Yeah, scratch your eye.
Yeah, no. I've got my.
You want to go through
safety
these in
glasses
order,
on.
or do you want to?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
All right. Well,
Why
the
not?
first one I had on here was Voluntary Administration. The secret brewer as a crafty pint thing they've got where I guess they have someone right on there who doesn't want to put their name to what they're saying.
Fair
which
enough.
I don't know about that, but whatever.
At least we can say the
what it
shit
is.
that we want to say about VAs and stuff like that and put our name to it, I suppose.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
mean
we get the big ratings.
Yeah, that first one is everything we've been saying. Well, everything I've been saying for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And then the second one was, I suppose, a bit of a rebuttal, not a rebuttal, but just an opinion from some people in the industry, including new Black Ops Craft CEO.
Oh, yes.
Mazen, Kylie Lethbridge, and the guys from Big Shed.
Big Shed Boys. Yep.
I don't know if you've read these because I didn't actually I put the wrong link in there. I put part 2.
Yeah, I actually I've read the part 2.
Okay,
I think it is. No, I've read part 1, but I hadn't read the part 2. I didn't realize that this was the part 2.
Yeah, well, I put part 2 in there by
give me the
accident.
summary, or I put it in ChatGPT.
Yeah, put it in ChatGPT. Well, I mean, but part 1. Why don't you open up part 2 and skim it because it's got people's comments, so you might see something in there that interests you. Part 1,
so the question was like, what impact do you
believe
believe a significant number of VOs over the past 2 years has had on the brewing industry? So Jason Craig said, no one single reason is different. Yeah, not everyone comes out of VA. Yeah. So people can't take for granted their beer will be there forever. And they need to support buying when they can. Yeah, Bootsy, what does he say? It's not good for 2 reasons. Stifles and restricts investment in the industry. Well, that's still fucking crowdfunding going on, isn't there, with Source?
Oh, yeah. What's happening with that? I didn't look at that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still going on, I'm not sure. Bootsy says he's currently battling a misinformation problem in the trade that he thinks Black Ops has gone under when the assets have been sold and it's business as usual. Well, it was sold. Just to a different company. I mean, it is business as usual. He's right there, but it was sold.
Not sure that is defined as misinformation, but anyway.
No, I don't think don't agree necessarily that's misinformation. Anonymous says, what happened is a natural progression of a maturing industry combined with the uniqueness of a market downturn in inflation due to a pandemic occurring in a globalized modern environment. Who the fuck was that?
Well, yeah, this is why you need to put your name on things, because no one would say that. Yes, it's not
Yeah.
that anonymous is ChatGPT. I feel like it is.
Yeah.
So, pretend you're a brewer and write a
Sounds like
response to
it.
this
Yeah,
article.
yeah. Do you think this ongoing series of administrations could have an impact on the relationship between breweries have with suppliers and the ATO? Fuck yeah. Everyone says yes. Loss of
Hmm.
confidence, yes. MH is what does MH
That's
mean?
Mazen. Mazen's
Oh, Mazen. Yeah,
MH.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Nick
where's
Boots
Anonymous
Mazen.
then?
They don't all answer all the questions, but I
Uh,
guess the point is it's an interesting article, worth reading. And it's interesting that people have kind of have their own spin on it. But I thought that first one that kind of said, everything we've heard about VAs in the beer media and in the media so far has all
mm,
been, it's all caused by excise and economic conditions and container scheme and all this other stuff. Whereas
yes.
when you read the VA reports from the administrators, they make it pretty clear that a lot of these cases are companies that have been financially mismanaged and directors behaving irresponsibly.
Mm.
And I think that first article kind of made the case that actually some of this is self-inflicted and it's okay to be honest about that. And some of this is a clearing out of an industry as opposed to, everyone's just getting attacked by
Yes.
the ATO.
Yes.
And I think
Oh,
that first
yeah,
article
absolutely.
hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the ATO's played a part in the story and recognize that, but there's a lot of stuff. Yes, the thing that's often not spoken about is the fact that sometimes businesses don't get run as good as what they should.
Yeah. Well,
You
it
know,
gets
not
spoken about on this
pointing fingers at
podcast.
any business or manager of any business or anything like that, because I can fucking speak to it because my business was mismanaged when it went into liquidation and owed lots of money and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's a very
You
hard
know?
business to run.
I mismanaged my own business. I can own that. I own that,
Mm.
And I could have done better, but I think from my perspective, and the only thing that I can speak to is my experience in having a business that's a brewing company that's been liquidated, is that fucking oath I mismanaged it. Absolutely.
Mm.
Chose the wrong business partners, and um, um, very poor financial planning, poor business model, thinking that opening a retail venue would solve all the problems like a fucking silver bullet. I was so wrong there. That just created new problems and bled more money out of the business.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I fucked up.
But in your case, how long did you trade for knowing that suppliers and investors were going to get all their money pissed down the drain?
7 months.
And how many millions are you talking about? And how
Oh,
many investors and
one investor.
okay. And
And if I would just count their investment, my investment, and what we owed at the time, and keep in mind that some stuff was paid back, some financial credit lines of credit were not. Um, I would probably say the tune of probably about $750,000 all up.
yeah, which is obviously not good, but I think it's naive to think that these companies that have, lost millions and millions of dollars with thousands of investors are not going to run into a problem where people are pissed off about the whole thing and people blame it on the brand. And I don't think like it's some of the comments in that article were kind of like we're a brand new, like for the Nick Boots comment about we're a brand new business. Um, we're battling misinformation. A little bit naive, I think, because there's a lot of people who are very, very pissed off about what happened in that case, and not just that one. Like some of the other, I read the Deeds VA report the other day. That was pretty ugly too.
Yeah.
And
I didn't get to read that one. What was give us the general gist of that one?
well, look, I mean, it's not dissimilar to the stuff we've been talking about. It's a company
Yeah.
that was clearly going down the toilet for a long time. They weren't going to get out of the situation. They traded longer than they should have, and it was the opinion of the administrator that they're probably in trading insolvent for something like 12 months, which was
there is always a period of time in any sort of VA or liquidation or something like that where the business is trading insolvent, and whether it's intentional or malicious or anything like that. You know, I know that when my business was heading towards being liquidated, that we couldn't pay our bills on time,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, right? And you know that you think you can trade your way out of it, and I think that's a very grey area because
It
it
is.
happens to every business that goes into VA, right? They know they're underwater,
Yeah.
right? Do you think you can trade your way out of it? So you keep trading, but you keep getting sucked underwater and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that you can say, like, you know, for example, well, I'll speak to a company that you're not involved in, but you know,
Yeah.
if they say, you know, X business was trading since insolvent from such and such a date, that doesn't necessarily mean that you know, in every case that the owners and directors of the business, the directors of the business mostly, maliciously intentionally traded. That was just the point where the administrator says, this is the point where it went pear-shaped and became insolvent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Basically.
speaking from, I've got my own experience that I draw on
Yeah, of
with these
course.
things. So, and
And I
I
know
absolutely agree with you that
remember
every situation.
the day that I can recall the day that my business, I knew it was done. I wouldn't say insolvent, but I knew it was done.
Mm,
Which was the day that had a tank of beer in at Kaiju, and it was ready to go, and I had to pay them the excise and co-pack fees and all that sort of thing, and we didn't have I won't go into the details of what actually happened, but we didn't have the cash to basically be able to pay the excise, and there was a lot of wheeling and dealing at the last minute from lots of people, distributors who were coming to the party who were just like, we'll fund this, we'll sell the beer,
right.
all this sort of stuff. And we couldn't get to an agreement with the relevant parties that we could get this beer out of the tank. And so I gave the instruction to Kaiju to put the beer down the drain. It was 50 hectoliters of perfectly good, can't fight the funk.
Yeah. That
And I love
hurts.
that beer. And
Me
you love
too.
that beer,
Mm.
you know? And I'm sure the brewery smelt great that day. And but that's what happened. And I knew at that point when that happened that the raw materials that had gone in to create that batch of beer
Mm.
and the potential revenue from that batch of beer was such that when that was taken out of the cash flow cycle,
Yeah.
I knew it was done. Without more
And
investment, I
you
knew it was
traded
done.
for 7 months after that?
Well, we had the bar and we had a lot of stock,
Right.
right? So I don't think that we were necessarily insolvent per se,
Yeah.
right? But we were sitting on, like, you know, we would normally sit on about 50 to 100 kegs of beer in stock.
Yeah.
And when we opened the bar, we kind of had this expectation that the bar would be turning over a lot of kegs of beer. So I built my stock from 50 to 100 kegs up to 350 kegs of beer
Mm.
on the proviso that we could service the bar and also the wholesale market. So
Yeah.
we had the stock. We weren't necessarily insolvent, but we had the stock that we could have sold, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
knew but what I'm saying is I knew at that point that was the point where the cash flow cycle was broken, such that we couldn't produce any more beer. We could have sold all the beer, paid down all the debt, and all that sort of stuff, and probably wrapped it up pretty quickly, but
Right.
that didn't turn out that way either. But I knew that was the day that the business broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
without giving a specific example, do you have a similar inflection point where you felt that was the case? With that, you
yeah.
don't have to give details, but
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm not going to give details. I can't. But yeah, I mean, I think, look, I think when I left is exactly when that point was, because that's
yeah,
why I left. And
yeah,
I don't feel good that they traded for that long after I left.
mm, mm,
But you know, you have to leave, and new directors have to make a decision. And you know, they probably get told a story that everything's going to be fine, and they're going to turn around. They get new investors, and you're right. You know, you could be losing money, and you could be still confident of a turnaround. But I don't know. You read that VA report that they wrote, and it's very, very consistent with what I thought at the time. It's exactly what I thought at the time. And
yeah,
it turned out 18 months to be the truth.
yeah,
But yeah, I can't talk about it too much. But yeah, I think it's good to talk about, because what you say is true in that, you know, there is always this gray area. Like for the majority of the time I ran Black Ops, we were not hugely profitable. We were really only profitable 1 year. which was 2021.
Yeah.
Every other year we were growing and, growing with the mindset that if we lost a bit of money, the growth and the investment coming into the business would fill that gap. And investors knew that. And it was like an honest, transparent thing. It wasn't like we were hiding our finances. It was like, this business needs to grow.
It costs money to grow.
And it costs money to grow. And when you invest into it, that's what you're investing into. So you're right. There were points during that time, even when I was there, when we were growing. When we moved to BH2, we had our moments where it was like, holy shit, like I don't actually know if we can get through this.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, the same thing. But I do have a problem when it goes on for 18 months. Because, in a business like that, if I had a bad month of Black Ops, like one bad month, I would be all over the P&L looking at it to work out what the fuck was going on. And I would be really, really worried. I wouldn't be sleeping at night. I'd be really worried because those businesses don't turn around quickly. They're fucking
But your
hard to
P&L is
turn
not your
around.
cash flow report either.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it's not your balance sheet either.
You've had very lengthy chats with Jamie Cook, ex Stone and Wood, who, in my opinion, is the definitive brewing industry finance guy who just knows how to run the finances of brewing businesses. And he for him, like, he was always daily cash flow reports. That's how he operated. That's how he ran the show. Daily cash flow reports. Yes, the P&L is important. And in fact, that's exactly what I think, if I remember correctly, that's what he used to say. Yes, the P&L is important, but I need daily cash flow reports to see where we stand.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'll tell you, the companies that, at least the ones that I've had some exposure to, and not just the beer industry, the ones that get themselves into trouble are ones that don't give enough attention to cash flow, also don't give enough attention to the P&L, and think more about the balance sheet. And they sort of look at it and think, okay, we've got a lot of assets. We don't have a huge amount of debt. So therefore, if the P&L is not pretty, everything will be fine. And that is a fucking recipe for disaster. But yeah, I know it's hard. Finance is really, really hard, especially in this industry. I got a message during the week from someone who'd I wrote an article about inventory in the beer industry, probably, I don't know, a while ago.
Yeah.
I got an email from someone asking questions about it, working in a much bigger company, still struggling with all the same things. I'm still struggling with the same things in my business, in the coffee industry. Like just last week, I've found out that I'd been a bit too lazy with checking the reports, and I'd figured out the inventory had gotten out of whack, and therefore the costings we were putting through the P&L had gotten out of whack. The whole thing had gotten, the numbers that were going into the P&L were wrong because the inventory was wrong. And I had to just relook at the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah. So you're doing the COGS accounting.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
that's
you have to be onto it. Yeah.
That's
it's bad. Yeah.
So
and you have to be onto it. It's so easy for it to go off.
For those who don't have an accounting background in FMCG businesses, when you buy raw materials, right? You buy malt, you buy hops, you buy can bodies and lids and all that sort of shit. That money that you spend, or that invoice that you put into your accounting system, doesn't go onto your P&L. It goes onto the balance sheet as an asset and is not on your P&L.
Well, okay, if you're doing it that way.
If you're doing it that way, this is COGS accounting and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And then you make the beer, and then you put all the raw materials and the packaging together, and you have stock, and that's still an asset, still not on your P&L. But there's a cost of what's called cost of goods sold, right? There's a dollar value around that asset, okay? And then when you raise an invoice, you've sold the case or keg of beer, then it appears on your P&L. So there's two line items that appear. There's a cost on the COGS, cost of goods sold, and then there's a revenue number for the dollar value you sold the beer for. Right?
Yeah, and to add a bit of detail to that what happens, at least in the system that I'm using, is when you generate that invoice, that's the exact time it builds the product. So it goes through all those raw materials and it puts together the sticker, the label, the green bean or whatever, the labor, if you've got that, and it builds that into a finished product. It puts the cost on the P&L and puts the revenue on the P&L. So therefore, you know that particular item you sold, as long as those numbers are right, then that cost on there is the exact amount that item cost you.
Yes.
Which is technically the correct and probably, to be honest, the best way to do it.
But if you don't have your COGS calculations right, that fucks up your P&L.
Yes. And in my case, so what happens with I use MIBE. The way MIBE does it is you will put an item into Moab and you say, okay, this item cost me $1, right? But then with green beans, for example, if you're not on contract, you'll take the market price. So it might cost you $1 one week, it might cost you $1.20 the next week, $1.10 the next week. So Maya will calculate an average of sorts of that number.
You use Maya?
Yeah, for this exact reason.
Okay.
Yeah, because Zero doesn't do this.
That's very 1990s.
No, Maya does exactly what you're talking about, and Zero doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zero does not. You have to use. I used to use Deer Inventory. Beer 30 does it as well.
Yeah, Beer 30 does it, but Beer 30 is not the accounting system. So I think there's Beer 30
it does all the
Zero.
It does all the journal entries in Zero, so you can do all your COGS accounting and balance sheet and all that sort of shit.
It has a couple of ways of doing it, but there's pros and cons. We tried to use that with Black Ops, but we ran into challenges with that too. But if you've got it in the accounting system, which honestly for a brewery, it would be very, very hard to do because most people don't want to use Maya. But this business I bought already used Maya for this reason. I looked at it and I was like, I'm not fucking up inventory ever again. I'm going to use it. And it's worth it for that. But anyway, the point is with the cost of the beans, it will look at how much you've paid in the past, how much you've used, and it will sort of come up with an average of how much the particular beans you have in stock are worth. But if you're not onto it, if you're putting invoices through and you're not even really thinking about the costs of things, I don't personally do the invoicing, so I don't see exactly every single time something gets billed if those numbers line up. If those numbers are off, all your numbers are off.
Correct.
And that's what happened to us a couple of weeks ago. And by the way, if you don't do accounting that way, if you do it the other way, which is how we used to do it, every number that goes into the P&L is an estimate. And that is even
that can be worse. Yeah.
So this shit's fucking hard. I understand it's hard. Most brewers can't afford to pay an inventory expert because they're worth their weight.
Got to get that shit right.
Yeah.
What have we got here?
All right. Alchemy Brewing to close. I'm guessing you know these guys, given that these were close to where you were.
Well, no. Pim
Brunswick,
used to be a client of mine, actually. So here at Rockstar. So it's a bit of a shame. He always. I think probably it was very like most brewing businesses, a very undercapitalized business. I've never been to the venue, but I've had friends go and they said they had a good experience and that sort of thing. I think for these guys, I suspect what happened is probably they got to the end of the lease and decided that was enough.
I think it was something like that.
Has there been anything on Crafty about it?
I don't know. I actually saw that one on news.com. So
I saw it. You know where I saw it was at the airport.
Oh wow!
When I flew into Sydney on the way back, and they have the TV above the baggage belt, and there was like the news.com.au thing there. So yeah,
that burger on that article looks so good though. Like that's just
where.
Oh really? Shit out of that. God damn it!
Give me a look.
Is it stock footage? No, it says Alchemy Brewing also has its own kitchen. I mean, it might be. I don't know. I haven't been there.
Oh damn, that burger does look good.
How good?
That's is that stock photo? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Do you know what the burgers I miss in Melbourne?
No.
Rockwell and Sons. Did I ever take you there?
No.
Oh my God, I was on Smith Street in Collingwood, and just smash burgers to fucking die for, mate. Double patty smash, and
love that shit.
And bacon. And that's it. I'm done. I'm anybody.
That's all you need.
No, it is Alchemy. It is Alchemy Brewing. It says picture Alchemy Brewing Instagram.
Oh yeah, there you go. I didn't read the first half of that sentence and didn't read the next. Right.
And
you got to choose my next.
So
hang on.
Casey Wall, who used to be the chef there at Rockwell and Sons. So when you take Erin to Melbourne, right, go to Bar Liberty on Johnson Street in Fitzroy.
Okay.
Take Erin there. Thank me later.
All right.
No, what you
Bar
do,
Liberty.
you take Erin there, and then you say to the waiter, feed us and wine us.
All right.
Then thank me later.
This is burgers or not burgers?
No. It's good food. Real good food. I took Mazen there for a date when I was in Melbourne in May.
Oh yeah, the same place. Yeah, you
Yeah.
mentioned that.
Yeah, it was
Right.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Aaron ran the first food truck ever at Bolter, and they were doing burgers.
Really?
Yeah. Random fact. Anyway, you got to choose my next beer here, right? So we've got.
I'm coming down. I want Aaron to cook for me.
Well, okay. We don't have a stove here though. We could use the barbecue. We got that. Speaking of
Bolter
Bolter,
hazy.
Bolter
Yep,
hazy.
yep.
We've got
What's that one?
Jameson
Looks like a
Smooth and
green.
Lime. These things are so good.
It was a
It's
green
not a
beacon.
beer.
Windjammer.
They're fucking awesome. Yeah, okay.
How
Windjammer.
much?
Windjammer.
Yeah, rightio. Windjammer.
And
Windjammersons.
and then I've got the Windjammers. And then we've got the Reynard from Maddock Brewing Co. Not sponsored, but
Oh, that's the
8.5%
strong ale, isn't
amber
it?
ale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
You
shit
can-
up, mate.
Okay, right. And you're obviously choosing this one, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And you're
Reynard.
gonna do that.
Maddock.
Right.
Yep.
That's,
Absolutely.
I got a nice message from Annalise the other day. They're very nice, those people, aren't they?
They're
They've got
lovely.
a Belge Fest or something coming up. So if you're on the Gold Coast, go check it out.
Yeah. I want to come down and hang with you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, we need to talk not on the podcast so we can actually arrange
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
I will.
We only ever talk on the podcast. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at my calendar here. So my next trip is on the 13th of August to Fiji for
Oh,
Taki's thing.
That's not actually that far away. Fucking hell. You're out of control. That's only 2 weeks away. Oh, no. Oh, August.
It's
Okay,
6
I gotcha.
weeks. 6 weeks.
Okay, that's not too bad. All right. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk offline, but I've got kids week on, week off. So if I don't have kids, I don't go anywhere. I don't like traveling.
Cool.
All right. What else have we got in here? Capital Brewing acquires Batlow cider. This is a fun one.
So Capital Brewing in Canberra.
Canberra, which apparently is close to Batlow.
Isn't that in Tasmania?
No, it's a sort of in the middle of New South Wales.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. Good people at Capital Brewing Company. I don't really know the people at Batlow Cider or anything like that, but why not? Capital's a pretty big company, and I'm pretty sure diversifying is a bloody good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's pretty good. There's something weird in here that they said. There's a strong focus on operating a socially and environmentally responsible way and are committed to reducing waste throughout our supply chain. So it's incredibly important we continue this with the way we operate Batlow cider. One thing we love about Batlow is that it's made from imperfect fruit. But then it says we love Batlow because they have an environmental ethos. But then it says through the acquisition, the company is committed to increasing production cider, in turn decreasing waste product. Plus, with Capital Brewery so close to Batlow, they will be reducing existing freight and the overall carbon footprint to make the product. How is that possible? I'm guessing they don't make it in Batlow. Is that what that means?
I don't know.
How would it reduce the carbon footprint to make it in Canberra?
I'm not sure. Maybe they use their canning machine or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Don't know
Very
either.
strange.
Yeah. Oh, no. So it says, now in a more streamlined approach, the juiced apples will be coming straight from Batlow to Canberra, where they'll be fermented and packaged at our brewery.
At the brewery, yeah. Oh, that makes sense. They must send it somewhere else to be fermented and processed and stuff like that.
I'm guessing they brew it somewhere else, right? They contract brew it somewhere.
You don't brew cider.
Well, you know what I mean. They mix it. They don't make it in Batlow. They get the apples from Batlow.
Yeah. There's probably goes to a co-pack facility or something.
That's not in Batlow.
Yeah,
possibly. I don't know. They do a lot of that with wine too, which Andrew was telling me when I was down there in the Hunter Valley. A lot of similarities. You know, one thing I learned in the Hunter Valley is a lot of the wine varieties that they make there are from grapes that aren't there, which is very much what they do in, Queensland, Mount Tamborine, places like that. But I just kind of assumed that in that area, the whole point would be they would just be making wine from that area, but that's not the case.
Yes.
One of the best wineries we went to didn't have any of their own vines.
Yeah, right.
Which is interesting because if you're going to operate like that, like,
the thing is that there's a glut of grapes in this country, right? And we're not short of wine, and we're not honestly, we should be pulling vines out of the fucking soil
Why? Which ones?
because there's just too much. It's too much
Gee,
production of wine.
don't do me like that.
No, no,
Love
it's
wine.
true. It's true. You can still love wine. You just love it too much.
No,
And
that's
we make
probably
too
true,
much.
yeah.
And so, my brother makes vinegar, as you know, and he has no problem buying either grape must or wine cheap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, grape spirit is like as cheap as it gets,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And
Yeah.
and like he does well out of it, right? Because when you buy wine, it's subject to GST, right? So you pay GST.
Hmm.
And when you sell vinegar, it's food, no GST.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this with my own business.
Yeah.
Because
coffee is coffee GST free.
coffee is GST free, but cups of coffee sold at the cafe are not GST free, even though they're only put together with GST free items.
Yes.
Unless you
It's a
put
service.
syrup in them. And some of
What?
the syrup is GST free, and some of the syrup has GST.
Oh, I don't
got-
envy your fucking accounting system at all.
No,
Your Baz's must suck.
yeah, this is all the stuff I'm discovering now is like looking in Square, and I'm like, how come this is GST free? Do we have to pay GST on this? And then I'm like, it turns out that certain syrups are naughty syrups, and other syrups are not naughty syrups. So now the poor girls at the cafe who put the sales in, every time they sell a syrup, they have to go into the naughty syrup category or the non-naughty syrup category.
What's the difference between a naughty syrup and a not naughty syrup?
Oh, like chai syrup, for example,
Right.
is not naughty, but like vanilla syrup
GST.
is naughty. So that's got GST.
What?
Yeah.
What's the basis of that?
Well, the theory must be that like generally food is GST free or food supplies.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're kind of, remember when they brought it in and they kind of had this whole thing where it's like women's hygiene products were going to have GST and there's a big uproar, so they put in all these exceptions. So it was kind of like, well, we're not going to have GST on
no. It's like if you buy a whole chicken from the supermarket, that's GST free.
Right.
But if you buy a rotisserie chicken, that's a service because it's been cooked.
Yes. Well, it's not just about being cooked, I don't think. I think there's certain items that are, yeah, no, in that case, yeah. So that's similar to the coffee, the roasted coffee versus the coffee to drink.
Yeah.
But there's also something in stuff that's good for you versus stuff that they decide is not good for you. Therefore, some has GST, some doesn't.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
That's
GST
just fucking mad.
sucks.
Yeah,
they should just put it on everything and just forget about it.
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah, I mean, it's tax is important, but it surely doesn't have to be that complicated. Anyway,
I don't know.
Capital
I don't know
Brewing.
if I'd necessarily. I could get a whole thing. It just taxes the poor.
GST?
It taxes people who spend money. Who spends money? Poor people.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to tax the rich, though.
It's pretty hard to tax people who accumulate wealth. They accumulate money.
Yeah.
They don't spend their money. It's locked up in assets. No GST there.
Yep, very difficult.
Poor people's tax.
Yeah, but what's the solution?
Tax wealth.
How?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a fucking economist.
This
is not economics advice.
This is not economics advice. Are you voting for Biden or Trump in the US election? Actually, the debate's tomorrow. Are you going to watch this or you don't care enough about this? It's tomorrow. 11 o'clock, I think, Australian time.
11 a.m.?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe I'll watch it.
I reckon that'd be worth watching. I'm kind of looking
I bet
forward
you he
to it.
pulls out. He'll pull out.
Biden?
Yeah. No, Trump.
Trump pulling out. He's a fucking favorite, mate. He's not pulling out of anything. Trump is not pulling out.
We'll see.
Biden might get swapped out because he's 1,000 years old.
We don't talk politics on this show. Fuck off.
No. I just think it'd be entertaining. I reckon
it'd be entertaining as fuck. Yeah.
And also the okay, all right, we're getting off topic. What else we got on here? On the topic of the ATO.
Excise.
Yes. So there was a post by Tom Champion in a Facebook group. Yes. This is how I saw this, but I've also linked to the actual ATO thing.
Yes.
It's an interesting conversation because he posted in there saying that basically the ATOs are going to start considering seltzers RTDs and tax them accordingly, which of course they are.
That's not what it is. but it is something it's okay. So what Tom Champion is talking about. So Tom Champion's also on the board of the IBA now.
Yeah.
And so what he's posted about is that there is a current draft excise determination made by the tax commissioner. Okay. So before everyone fucking piles in and says the ATO are bastards and evil and all that sort of stuff, they don't set policy. It's Parliament tells Treasury to set policy, and the ATO's job is to collect the tax
Right.
in relation to the policy. Okay.
Yeah.
In the guidance of the policy. However, the tax commissioner has the ability to make determinations on certain scenarios around tax law, whether it's PAYG or excise or mining royalties, all that sort of shit, and is able to make up some rules around the edges. Okay, and so basically I think it was 2005. I think it was that we had the alcopop tax. I think it was.
I don't know the year, but it was back then,
in the noughties, right?
Yeah.
And so in the noughties, we had the alcopop tax. Now, the thing is that there actually wasn't a tax. It was basically some legislation put forward that reclassified what beer was and what spirits was. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was happening at the time was that the tax on spirits was higher than beer, as it is now. And a lot of the spirits companies were making what's called alternative beverages. So do you remember the Smirnoff Double Blacks?
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. Beer. It was beer.
Yeah.
So what they were doing was they were making a beer, a 7% beer. They were running it through a filtration process to strip the color out of it and the flavor out of it. So basically you were left with ethanol and water. It used to be brewed at the Tuborg, which is now the Asahi Brewery in Laverton in Western Melbourne. And what they did was they made a beer and in a 100 hectoliter brew house they would put one hop pellet.
Yes.
Right, and that one hop pellet in 100 hectoliters of wort constituted hops, and therefore the product was beer.
Yeah.
Okay, and so remember Sub-Zeros?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, I remember Sub-Zeros. I've had some great nights on Sub-Zeros. Right, beer. Right. So all these alternative beverages were being produced, which are basically if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck. And they looked and walked like RTDs, but they were falling under the guise of beer. Okay.
Right.
So the excise was cheaper. So you could get a 6-pack of 7.5% Smirnoff Double Blacks for $15.
Yeah.
And they were good days.
Good times. You still pay $10 at the club though.
You still pay $10 at the club and that sort of thing. I will tell you offline about the special Sub-Zeros I used to buy at a pub in the valley here back in the day.
I don't know if you need to know about that.
Not here, you don't. So basically, they were basically skirting around the definition of beer. Now, the definition of beer back then was only like half a page.
Yeah.
Which basically has said it had to be made from malted cereals with water and had to be more than 1.5% alcohol. That was generally it. And so the alcopop tax came in, and what happened was they redefined the definition of beer. So instead of being half page, it's now a 4-page definition. So beer is now defined as let's see here. It's in this fucking ruling. So beer needs to be so beer needs to be the product of yeast fermentation of an aqueous extract, being predominantly an aqueous extract of cereals.
Yeah.
Okay, so barley, wheat, corn, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Whether the cereals are malted or unmalted, doesn't matter. Whether or not the aqueous extract contains other sources of carbohydrates and contains hops or extracts of hops, such that the beverage has a 4 IBU. Okay, not a lot, but enough to taste. 4 bitterness units, 4 IBU.
4. Yeah.
Okay. Or it can have other bitters so that it meets 4 IBU. It must not contain more than 4% by weight of sugars. What they were doing with those Smirnoff Double Blacks is they're making a beer and then back sweeten it with a shitload of sugar. So you
Right.
can't have more than 4. You can back sweeten beer, but not more than 4% by weight.
Yeah.
Okay. And the sugars are monosaccharide or disaccharide. So, hello, all you pastry stout and milk stout fans out there, lactose is a disaccharide. So, if you're putting more than 4% by weight into a beer, it is an RTD now. Anyway, cannot have artificial sweetener. Guess what they were doing back in the day? You can put flavors in it, but the flavors can't, usually alcohol is a carrier. For those flavoring substances. So you can put flavors in, but the alcohol carrier can't add more than 0.5% to the ABV. You can put distilled beer, but the spirit that you distill beer to just alcohol can't be more than 0.5% ABV, and it's got to have more than 1.15% alcohol by volume, right? That's what the definition of beer, okay? That's what it is now. So
Right.
this draft determination is, in summary, is basically saying that if you dilute your beer by more than 50%, it is a RTD.
Okay. Are
Okay.
you skipping what happened when seltzers took off in this
Well, okay,
country?
no. So here's what happens, right? So often in a lot of breweries, and including the one that you used to be involved with, sometimes you go over alcohol, and you need to adjust it to bring it back into its proper cell strength for the declared alcohol on the can. It
Yeah.
happens, right? So you make some deaerated liquor or some deaerated water, and you can dilute beer to bring the alcohol down. Okay, very, very common practice in breweries. I'm not fucking. It's very common. It
Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
all the time. Case in point, if you buy a fucking Great Northern or a VB or any macro lager, it is diluted post fermentation usually from around 7.5% down to its cell strength, right? So
Right. There's a fancy
4.2%
name
for
for it, isn't there?
what's the fancy name?
Isn't there a fancy name for
No,
brewing?
what is it?
I don't remember what it is,
What is
but
it?
there is one.
A liquor back?
No. What is it?
Liquor back?
Look at that. All right. All right.
I mean, that'll get you in trouble if you're walking down the street, but very common in breweries.
Let's just roll with that then. That's good.
Okay.
You
So
tell
you
me
can lick
offline.
it. So you can basically liquor back beer down to its cell strength, and this happens with every macro lager in the fucking country. Right?
Not just macro lager, a lot of
A lot of
famous
breweries do it. A
craft
lot of
beers,
craft
and
breweries do it.
that's
It's a
that's
very
not what
efficient
I'm
way.
referring to though. What I'm referring to
Oh,
is when seltzers came out here and every brewery, including the one I was
right.
working at,
Yes.
was scrambling to think, okay, fuck, this looks like an opportunity. Why don't we make something, call it a seltzer, but claim that it's a beer?
Okay. And
And this
the
was
issue is,
definitely, well, I think that, well, surely that is what's partly what's led to this, right?
this is exactly what this draft what do they call it? Like a draft determination is trying to combat. It's specifically designed to combat seltzer,
Yeah,
right?
because
So
breweries were
if you
claiming that they were beer.
correct,
Yes.
right? But here's the thing, right? Is they're saying that if you dilute something post fermentation to bring the alcohol down, then that is not a ferment. That's not because the water is not fermentable. Then that dilution water is not fermentable. It means that it is no longer a majority substance of water and an aqueous solution of water and cereals.
Yeah.
It's too much water.
By a certain percentage, though, isn't it? It's not like,
Yeah, it's 100%. So you can't
which is a
dilute
lot.
something down by. That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I get what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is we're seeing a trend back to these alternatives. Okay. Seltzers being an alternative. I know how to make a seltzer that passes the beer test under excise. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what you can do is you can make a beer or a seltzer at 7.5%. If you dilute it down to 3.5%, then that's the 50% dilution. And then therefore that's an RTD.
Mm.
I think that is not an adequate determination of something that would be considered an alternative product.
Yeah, you could still get
Right.
away with it, couldn't you? Still within those rules.
Well, what's stopping me from pre-fermentation having a lower gravity sugar solution and fermenting that to 3.5% and making that seltzer? Same shit,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
I think
And the
there's, I
reason
think,
why
but
the
you have to
reason
have
why the
rules,
big
don't you? Because
breweries,
every example of one of these situations, you can kind of say, it's stupid at the edges. But on the whole, having an RTD tax that is so easy to get around doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So you can understand
I
why they would want to put
understand.
something in.
I understand, right? And in some respects, I agree with the tax commissioner is that if you are trying to make something that is an alternative beverage that the alcohol tax was invented to circumvent for the public interest, public health interest, public safety interest, and all that sort of stuff. Man, it was fucking wild times before the alcohol tax coming in. You see kids just fucking
Yeah.
getting. It was bad. It was really bad. There was a
It's like
lot of alcohol
South
problems.
Africa. No RSAs,
It
no
was it
RTDs,
was
all
no
RTDs, no
RSA,
RSAs.
no RTD, RTDs, no RSA.
Yep.
Right? It was bad. And so yes, we've come back to a full circle where alternative beverages are starting to be a thing. However, this draft determination affects beer because if you take Great Northern Super Crisp, right? It's a mid-strength, it's 3.5%.
I
That's a
had some the
seven and
other
a half
day.
percent. It's a
Didn't
seven and
enjoy
a
it.
half percent beer in the tank.
Yeah.
And they dilute it by more than 50% to bring the alcohol down to where it needs to be. Are you going to? And so basically, what the tax commissioner is saying is that Great Northern Super Crisp is now an RTD.
Well, I think what they're saying is this is the new rule, and they can choose how they want to make the product if they want
No,
to
no,
fit
no.
into the.
That is the reading of this determination.
No. But what I'm telling you is they're changing the rules. They'll give people
Yes.
time to adopt to the new rules, and a beer like Super Crisp would probably look at the new landscape and say, okay, let's brew it to 6.9% now, and it will still be a beer, and business will be fine, and we'll still be fine.
And that's going to be a massive challenge and a very expensive challenge for a company like Asahi because the high gravity beer is so high gravity, the yeast esters that are produced will affect the brand profile of Super Crisp.
Yeah,
right?
It'll be less super crispy.
And it's an expensive proposition to get a company like Asahi to change their process and formulation to create the same brand profile because they can't dilute the beer so much, right?
Mm.
That scenario does not, and it's a low ABV beer. So it's just that scenario does not do anything to serve the public interest to protect this community from alternative beverages.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean,
right?
what if there was no limit on that?
Here's me. I'm going to pretend to be the tax commissioner for a second.
Okay, you kind of look like a tax commissioner.
It's the glasses, isn't it?
A little bit, and the just the overall profile.
It's the haircut, isn't it?
Okay, I wasn't going to say haircut. I was going to say the overall. You got the pen there.
Just say the fucking haircut.
Okay, the lack of hair is contributing.
So here's my take on it, and I don't know if the industry would agree with this, but here's what I think the scientific solution would be. Right? Is that if the current definition of beer says that the beer must have at least 4 IBUs at a minimum, then beer should also have a minimum color. Which is measurable.
Going to ask you that exact question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The color is measurable in EBC through spectroscopy and that sort of thing. Because what's happening now, what color are seltzers? They're clear.
Yeah.
Do they look like beer? Fuck no.
Right? No.
And I would probably say that if I think about the palest beer that I know, the most straw-colored beer, maybe Corona.
Maybe you just think that because it's a clear bottle. Beer. I bet you there's something that's
there's probably something paler. Yeah.
See, that's because the other thing is I would say what gets served in a can versus in a bottle. If you're drinking something in a seltzer can, you probably don't give a shit what it looks like.
If you think about Corona, it's probably about 5 EBC. So if we put something like 3 or 4 EBC of color as a minimum, right, you're going to see that with the naked eye.
Yeah,
that's the determination of whether something is a alternative beverage or if
but they'll just add color.
You'd see it. If a seltzer is clear and you put something that's 4 EBC, you're going to see it. It's going to look like beer.
Hang on. So if you make seltzer, if you make a raspberry seltzer, you're currently calling it beer.
Yes. Yep.
you still want to call it beer. All you
Sure.
do
In
is
in the
instead of
eyes
it being a
of
clear
excise,
raspberry
yes.
seltzer, you turn it into a red raspberry seltzer, and it's beer.
I don't know what actually. Fuck, I don't know what red would measure as EBC.
Yeah, or you figure out whatever color is close enough to that. The thing is, no one sees the color
I
of
tell you
seltzers,
what,
so they bring it out
I'm
of the
going to
can.
TAFE on Monday. I'm gonna take some fucking some sort of red fucking RTD kind of thing into the brew lab, and I'll run it in the spectro, and I'll tell you
Yeah.
what color it is in EBC.
Well, this is a good thing. I would like maybe people in the group could put forward their ideas because I can't think of a good
Yes.
solution. I think color would go some of the way. Hops clearly doesn't do it because you can just put one hop in or just say you did.
Well, four IBU, yeah.
But even 4 IBU doesn't really do it because IBU is just, depending on what you're making, it's a weird.
But it's
metric.
measurable. No, it's not a weird. It's measurable.
Yeah, but
that's my point.
But isn't IBU sort of very contingent on what else is in the drink?
No,
like
no.
You might have a stout
because how you measure IBU
that you wouldn't even really notice.
No. So how you measure IBU is you dissolve out the method is you dissolve out the isoalpha acids with isooctane and sulfuric acid to balance the pH.
Yeah, I totally understood all those words.
And you run that through a spectro at a certain wavelength, and that will give you the IBU number. It's measurable. Bitterness is measurable.
No, I'm okay. I definitely didn't understand any of those words, but I wasn't saying it wasn't measurable. I'm saying IBU is contextual. So it's like in a light beverage, 4 IBU, you might be able to a human might be able to taste it. In a darker beverage, you wouldn't be able to taste anything.
Oh, correct.
So it's like it doesn't solve the problem of is something beer or is something not beer.
Yeah.
And neither does it have one hop in it or two hops in it, and neither does color.
Well, no, that was the old
figure
rules.
out a way around that, and neither does dilution.
Yes.
Really,
but that's the thing. People are always going to be out to minimize tax. People do it all the time, anyways, and that's the tax commissioner's job is to close loopholes.
But I think the dilution thing is very fair in terms of like beer is different to like if you didn't have any restrictions around dilution. You could are there people actually doing this? Just getting in neutral spirits and turning that into seltzers and calling them beer?
Okay, so the thing is, right? Let's flip it around the other way. Let's say this determination becomes final, right, and becomes a thing, right? It doesn't stop seltzer because I can still ferment fucking dextrose, and not dilute it or not dilute it as much, right? And still make a seltzer and still put my 4 IBU in it and still have less than 4% by weight of sugars and still be more than 1.15% alcohol and it still be classified as a beer. It does not address alternative beverages.
Okay, I see.
That's my point.
But how can you, so what did you say? Ferment dextrose?
Dextrose.
So do you not need to have any kind of grain like malt?
It is a grain.
So it's like, so what is that?
What's dextrose made from?
I don't know. I thought it was like sugar.
Yeah, where's the sugar come from?
Sugar cane?
Magic? No, it's dextrose. It is a sugar, but it's not sugar cane. That's sucrose. Okay.
So where's it come from? I don't know. Corn. So, okay.
Right. If you have high fructose corn syrup and if you ferment high fructose corn syrup, right, and you make alcohol with that, that's beer because it comes from a cereal.
Should it be beer?
Cereal. I don't fucking know.
Well, wouldn't that be a good solution if you just have beer has to have malt?
But that's the rule already.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying if you're going to think of a solution that would actually solve the problem, it would fuck over every macro lager in the industry. But
color is the solution, mate.
Yeah, it's not the solution because would get around that easily. Yeah, it's a good question because most people think of beer as that corn beer, don't they? That's probably 90% of the beer that gets drunk. It's made with corn.
That's right, yeah. And so it's a challenging one. So I would encourage all brewers to put a submission in against this because it's fucking dumb. The basically saying is that when you add water, if you add water pre-fermentation, that's part of beer. But if you add water post-fermentation, that's not part of the beer.
But you understand the reason why that makes sense. Otherwise, you would just not ferment anything.
What do you mean?
You would just get in neutral spirit and dilute it and put one hop in
but
it
that's an
and call
RTD.
it beer.
No. You can't use neutral spirit.
Okay, but how do they test to see if you are getting in neutral spirit, diluting it, putting in one
You
hop
got to
and
do
calling it beer?
but you can't use neutral spirit because the rule, the definition of beer says that if you use neutral spirit, it cannot contribute more than 0.5% ABV.
Right.
We can't mix neutral spirit and water and flavors and sugar and call it, and even put 4 IBU in it and call it beer, because
I mean,
that's not beer.
you could effectively make your own neutral-ish spirit and dilute the
Of course
shit
you
out
can.
of it. Yeah.
Well, you can't use spirit. You can't use spirit. Right?
No.
You have to. It is an aqueous solution of fermented cereals.
How many people are not using spirit to make seltzers, you think? People are using spirits,
A
right?
few.
Couple. One or two?
Couple.
Like one hop, one brewer is
It
using
does.
neutral spirit to make
Yeah, fuck
seltzer.
yeah. I've advised clients to how to make seltzer in a way that passes as beer on excise.
Yeah.
Not illegal. Not advising them to break the fucking law.
I
And
don't know.
even with this,
I think
to be
it's
fair,
it's one thing for people to complain about a level playing field, constantly, and then when the ATO suggests have a level playing field where you can't just claim something is beer when really it's an RTD, and for everyone else it's an RTD and they're paying RTD tax on it.
yes.
I can understand how they're looking for a solution to
Yes.
make that.
They're
level.
trying to get over basically, it says here, some products, sometimes known as alternatives, made from beer, mimic spirit-based RTDs in terms of their taste and marketing. Smirnoff Double Black. That's what they're trying to stop. And and I agree that the spirit of that should be maintained. But I think that can be done through color and not through the amount of fucking water you put in it post fermentation.
Yeah. Right. Well,
because I can put the water in pre-fermentation and that's okay.
Well, it's a part of the fucking process of making the beer. Of course, you need to put water into it.
Yeah, well, exactly. So fuck, I don't get it. Anyway,
right.
That's our this is your tax commissioner Hendo.
That's you. Thanks, Commissioner.
Tax Commissioner Hendo.
All right.
I'd be the shittest tax commissioner. Actually, everyone would love me being the fucking tax commissioner because no one would pay fucking tax.
Yeah, well, they don't anyway. Just
or I'd be shit at,
so
I'd be shit at collecting it, and everyone would be like, that dude, he's fucking good at this job.
Yeah, we love this guy.
Yeah.
All right, we've got 2 Hendo reacts because I've been a little bit slack with it, but let's just do 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do this, right? That means I'm going to know. I'm going to cut that out.
You clap. You say clap because you clapped and I didn't hear anything.
I don't. But it'll be on my recording, right?
Oh, okay, rightio.
I fucking hope.
Am I sharing sound?
Right, I'm gonna I'm gonna write this down. 8:49. I want to do as limited amount of editing as possible.
Rightio. Here we go. Andrew Lang. Let's have a look. Are we ready?
Let's go. Oh, wait, that was a different one. You clicked on the other one, but that's okay. This
Instagram.
is Lewis Hamilton, not.
No, that's not the one I clicked.
Isn't it? Seeing weird mouse movements going on here.
What are you drinking?
I got this non-alcoholic shit.
What's that?
It's like a non-alcoholic beer. It's got no alcohol.
It's a beer?
Yeah, with no alcohol.
But you drink enough, and if you drink a lot, they get you fucked up?
No, there's no alcohol. That's the fucking point.
I'm not scientist. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I can get you beer if you want fucking beer.
No, but I don't drink, you remember? I don't drink anymore.
Do you know what movie
you want to go inside and blow some lines of
bacon?
Probably
the Wolf of Wall Street, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's Wolf of Wall Street.
Can't imagine Evan not enjoying getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I love it.
You want a beer, pal?
What do you drink?
What was the caption on there? It was like 21-year-old me talking to 40-year-old me or something like that. Yeah. When was the last time you saw that movie?
I saw it when it came out and haven't seen it since. Fucking great movie.
That's such a good movie.
You know what I watched the other night?
What'd you watch?
I watched a movie because my kids are getting old enough now to watch movies and kind of
M movies,
appreciate them.
MA movies.
I gave Geordie a list of actually his friend gave me a list of movies to watch, and I was like, don't watch any of that shit. I'm gonna watch these movies. And the first one I had on my list was The Usual Suspects.
Oh,
so we watched that again.
You're a top dad.
Blew his brain into smithereens.
Yeah, right.
That is such a good movie.
It is a very good movie.
God,
you're a top dad making kids watch The Usual Suspects.
Oh, that's a good movie.
What do you reckon next?
Shawshank, probably. You haven't seen that.
Not bad. Reservoir
it's
Dogs.
So good. Well,
Some,
I'm just gonna work my way in. He's 16 and a half, so Reservoir Dogs
well,
maybe not.
It's 16 and a half time for some fucking Tarantino.
Maybe.
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's a bit more tame. It's got a Volvo in it too, so that's good.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. God, Usual Suspects is good.
I actually, do you want to know something?
You've not seen it.
Never seen it.
Interesting.
Guess what I'm doing this weekend?
Do you know much about it?
No.
Watch it. Report back next week.
Rightio.
Okay.
I'm having a nice quiet weekend at home this weekend. I will watch it.
Okay. Good.
All
I had
right.
to pay for it, $5, but whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just sail the high seas.
What do you mean? You're gonna go on a boat and watch it?
Yeah, just sail the high seas.
Oh, you're gonna do the Johnny Depp? Okay, I get. Okay, all right, so
Yeah,
see
Johnny
what you're
Depp.
talking about. See, I don't know anything about that kind of shit. You're into some weird shit, Hendo. I'm
Yeah. I just like
squeaky
boats.
clean. Here we go. Lewis Hamilton, not.
Oh yeah, I saw this guy. He's just like so doesn't even look like Lewis Hamilton.
He looks like him so much.
It's just like so funny. Oh my god, that guy was hilarious. He was just like fucking, it's just like he's got the braids and shit, and I think it's just so funny.
Do you think he's actually? They know it's not him, right? Do you think or not?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I bet you they don't.
I don't know. He's in the fan zone, so you never know. People are queuing up.
That's great.
I
would rather meet this dude than actual Lewis Hamilton. He seems cooler.
Are you watching Austria?
Yeah, it's getting good, dude. It's
I
actually
watched,
finally getting good.
You know, it's good. It's getting close. Man, like the Spain race was great. It was only 5 seconds between first and second. That's how you want a fucking race to be.
100%. The McLarens have been probably the quickest car on track for a while.
They're great.
Possibly.
Not this week, though. It's going to be Red Bull all the fucking way this weekend.
Yeah.
Austria, fast corners, that's Red Bull.
Yeah.
Home track for them as well.
You mean that's Max?
Yeah. And do you know what I like about the Austria race as well? Is all the Dutch fans.
It's all orange, isn't it? Is it
they all rock up wearing orange, and they have the orange smoke flares and fucking all that sort of thing. And then what's going to happen is Lando, when he wins it, he's on the podium and he's going to go, oh, thanks to all the papaya fans.
That's right. That happened. I think that happened last time, right?
Does it all the time. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. Lando's crushing it at the moment, eh?
Yeah. He's good. That car's good.
The car's very good.
Yeah, it's super interesting at the moment.
Car's good. The strategy is good.
Yeah, the team's good.
Lando, like if he had remained in first place after the first corner, he would have won the race.
100%. And Oscar's had his moments too. He's had some a little bit of bad luck, but he's been good. I mean, oh god, that qualifying was heartbreaking.
Oscar doesn't have the experience yet, but if he stays in that car, he's going to do very, very well. McLaren's firing on all the fucking cylinders at the moment. Good car design, 2 good drivers, good strategy,
good management. Everyone seems to like their kind of
management
team principal guy and
fastest pit stop ever. 1.8 seconds.
How about Lewis going to Ferrari and Mercedes just all of a sudden getting really good?
Yeah.
And Ferrari dropping off. Like I thought at the start of the year, maybe he just made the most genius decision, but as it's going, it seems like Mercedes is figuring it out. Ferrari are going to shit. It might be the opposite.
If Ferrari gets Newey, different story.
Yeah, it's going to take some time though.
Yeah. Did you see the rumor articles this week?
I saw a few. I saw one about Ricciardo getting replaced, Liam Lawson stepping in, Behrman
going
coming
to
in,
Haas.
I think to replace to Haas.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No, that's about it.
Williams and
Sargent's got to go,
which is weird.
Yeah.
What's we go to fucking Williams for?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Just to keep a seat, I suppose.
Would you put Liam Lawson in instead of Ricciardo?
Well, the real question is that if Logan Sargent goes, Whose mum are we gonna hang out with at the Melbourne Grand Prix next year?
Well, yeah. Well, it's you. It's not me.
No,
you're the one
it's
that
us.
has
It's
mates
gonna
with
be
all the
us.
mums. I'll be there, but I won't know any of the mums.
Only one mum. There's only one F1 mum that I'm into. It's Logan Sargent's mum.
Oh, she might still be there. Maybe you cursed him. You think he had a bit of hype back
What,
then?
Kirsty's mum? He crashed
Yeah.
that day. Fuck off.
No, but we kind of came in hot. It was like, oh, this guy's going to be good, and he just absolutely
No.
sucked.
Yeah, he died. Yeah, exactly.
We didn't die. He's still alive.
No, as in his form died.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I
Right.
cursed his mum.
God damn it.
Best I could do.
Well, just flick her a message and see if she's going to be there, and tell her I'd like to meet her, even though her son's a loser. Okay.
I've got her on Instagram.
Oh wow. Okay. That's brilliant.
I'll slide into
Right.
her DMs. Hey.
Remember me? I'm the ATO tax collector you met back in 2019.
With my pen and my bald head.
All right. So every week at facebook.com/groups/Boss and the Brewer, I put a post in there alerting people to the fact that we're going to do the podcast tonight. And
there's 12
we asked them
questions.
for questions. We asked for 12. We very rarely actually get 12.
Rarely
but,
get 12, yeah.
We normally just get shit posts. Let's see what we got.
What
We've got Darren Gittins, new brewery opening in Brisbane CBD, Little Miss Sunshine. Reckon the logo will get them in trouble with the movie studios or the fun police. Little Miss Sunshine. I've got to Google that.
Is it a brewery?
Apparently. Little Miss Sunshine Brewery. Can't find anything about it. Well,
excuse
that
me.
was disgusting. I definitely heard that. Not editing
Yep.
that out.
Can't Google it.
Tried to Google it, didn't find anything. Will it get into trouble with the logo? Movie
The
studio,
Google
movie
result
studios
is
aren't going to
Little
give a
Miss
shit.
Brisbane.
Oh, here we go. Facebook, Little Miss Sunshine.
The Google result gives Little Miss Brisbane.
Well, that's not the same thing. I don't think.
I just thought of something really fucking dumb.
No.
Really dumb. And I'm not
You
going
wanna
to
say it, or is that gonna be an
name the
offline
Instagram
thing?
account. Just Adam Shell and I dated the same girl back in the day.
I think that's called
A year
Spit
apart.
Brothers. Eskimo Brothers? Spit Brothers? Is it something like that?
Yeah.
Along those lines?
Yeah.
Well, sounds hot.
No. I think the
right.
word is vapid.
Okay. Well, Little Miss Sunshine, will they get in trouble? Nah, it's just a combi. That's fine. The logo's fine. Oh, because the combi's from the movie, I guess.
Movie, yeah. Is it on Facebook? Are you sharing your screen? I can't see.
No,
it.
I put in your chat in the Zoom chat.
Oh, okay.
The new bistro with its own brewery in the heart of the city. I don't know. The movie's,
Really?
the movie's
Oh,
not
is that
giving
the
a shit
one
about
that someone pointed that out on Brisbane Beer Barons? It was on Turbot Street or something like that.
Okay.
Let's have a
I
look.
don't think
Where
anyone's
is
going to
it?
care.
Little Miss Sunshine AU.
Very little
Let's have a look
information
here.
on the Facebook.
There's a
page.
website. It's littlemisssunshine.au.
Okay.
Where are you? Sunkiss Days. Join the crew. Who is LMS? That's Last Man
LMS.
Standing. There's going to be an issue.
It's also a learning management system, but I don't think the
Mhm.
e-learning
I
people
know.
are gonna
I've
care
been
about
on
that.
this. It doesn't even have their fucking address.
Man, that steak looks a little bit undercooked, if I'm honest.
Monday
That might be a
closed,
stock photo.
Tuesday closed, Wednesday closed. Oh, what's this video? There's a video. Do you want me to put that on the screen?
Sure, send it. Is that Charles Leclerc in the video there? Do you want to share this?
It looks like Charles Leclerc.
I think
Let's
it's
have a look.
Charles driving a combi.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Let's play that shit.
All right, let's play the video.
Got sound?
Vimeo. Yep. Let's go, Vimeo.
What's Charles got to say for himself?
Charles Leclerc. Let's go.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
Humanity Coffee Co.
Listen.
It wasn't even a brewery. It's its own brewery. It's got Pacific Ale
Okay.
in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
Ready to join us? One team, one dream.
Is that a seltzer in the video there?
It's all fucking stock fucking pudding. Look at all this stock pudding.
This one? Wait,
Oh, that's so loud.
microbrewers. This is AI. This is AI.
No, it's stock footage. Humanity Coffee Co.
Wow.
What the fuck is this shit? Maybe Humanity Coffee Co's got something to do with it. that was just so woeful. Let's look at humanity.
This I feel like you're going down a
Coffee-
tangent here that we
Coffee
don't need to
Co.
go down.
Humanity Coffee Brisbane. Do we get this fucking
Oh my god.
House of Humanity Coffee Co? Here we go. This is just stupid.
I don't know what's happening, but
This is just
I don't know
weird.
if they're having a crack.
Look, I think it's the one on Turbot Street. Someone posted some picture of some tanks on fucking Turbot Street last week on Facebook.
Well, if they got tanks there, that's good. They're making beer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, the tanks weren't hooked up to any glycol or anything like that. There was just tanks.
Well, there's plenty of breweries that's the case for.
Yeah, make Vike beer and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you've got what's his name in the Valley opening up. I can't remember the name of it. There's the other one in the Valley that's opening. So the brewery's still opening.
I mean, okay. All right. Next question.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Send it.
Ben Fenwick, question. How often do you buy beer? What is your preferred method? For example, brewery direct or bottle shops?
Bottle shops.
I bought beer. When did I buy that? I bought beer last night because I thought it would be a nice evening to I'm sort of generally not drinking during the week, but the State of Origin was on.
Yes,
so I thought I'd go down and buy beer. I went to the bottle shop, but I live close to Maddox, so sometimes I go there, sometimes I go to the bottle shop close to my house in Stabby.
Yep.
Or Slabrador, if you want to slab.
Labrador. Yep.
I like both, but buying beer from the bottle shop, like the Majors bottle shop, it's not a connoisseur thing to do, is it? You're basically going there and you buy whatever's cheapest, whatever's on special, and
of course.
kind of don't expect it to taste amazing. But I
The
bought
rest of the
these.
beers we get, the fancy beers I
Tastes
get,
pretty
those
fucking
all
good.
sponsored beers.
Yeah.
When I come down to
Beer makes
Stabrador, we'll jump in the
Labrador.
hairdresser's car and I'll take you on the Hendo, the Roots of Hendo tour of Stabrador, where I used to live and where I went to school and all that sort of stuff.
All right, let's do that. Well, we could take the East Coast Rover if you want. It's up and running. I can cruise around in that.
Sick. That
As long
sounds
as
like
you're not
fun.
concerned about your safety.
Rollovers, probably a problem. Should I wear a hat? It's got a roof.
A helmet, I think, would be better.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need a hat because you've had that surgery.
I need it again.
Oh, do you? Darren Doc Roberts, Hendo reacts. What if this exists? This is a AI picture of Elon Musk on a Tesla scooter.
Well, I can't see that. You need to share your screen or put the fucking link
it's just I'm not sharing my screen. It's an AI thing.
We'll put the link in the chat.
God damn it. Okay, I'll share my screen. That's
is that Kim Jong-un or is that
it's Kim Jong Elon and he's on a scooter. I have heard
It's a
Elon
Tesla
talk about
scooter.
scooters once, and I think he used the word demeaning to ride a scooter, so he didn't have any interest in making one. So I don't think that's happening.
I had to have words with a guy on the fucking street today because he tried to run me off the road when I was on the scooter coming back from the dentist.
Okay.
Like he fully cut me off. I'm going down Ann Street through the city and that sort of thing. Literally moves over into my lane whilst I'm right next to him. And I pull and I move in front of him and I just look at him and just go, dude, I'm right here. And then he tailgates me and then he actually, I'm in the center of the lane and he fucking pulls up beside me, right? And I'm like, he tries to pull in front of me and I go up to his window's down. I said, mate, what are you doing? It's fucking dangerous, mate. And he goes, I had my indicator on. I said, that doesn't mean you have the fucking right of way, mate. You know, I said, and he was just like, oh, I said, do you not care about my fucking safety? You know, because you're acting really aggressively and you're running me off the road and all that sort of thing. I said, do you not care about my safety? He's like, fuck off. And I'm like, anyway, I popped a mono and fucked off.
You didn't pop a mono. I believe the rest
I
of
did
the
pop a mono.
story-
It was an accidental mono.
How high? It wasn't. It was barely.
It was a good 30 degrees.
It was not 30 degrees.
It was 30 degrees. It felt like 30 degrees.
It was 5 degrees at best.
I was on the back wheel because I just wanted to get away from that guy. He was stuck at the lights and I just went between the cars and just got the fuck out of there because just don't need to be anywhere near anyone like that. It's
I don't
dangerous.
like dickheads.
That's
Dickheads
actually the
suck.
first time I've actually had a dickhead like that. in a very, very, very long time. He was very aggressive and very dangerous with his Honda HRV.
Yeah, well, he's a fucking loser.
And like I don't get pissed off at a lot of stuff, but if you endanger my safety, I'm gonna take exception to that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
mean,
said
it's
to him,
terrifying.
I said, mate, you've got 10 square feet of fucking metal around you protecting you. I've got nothing. And here you are acting all aggressive and that sort of thing. How dare you? You know?
Yeah,
Fuck's sake.
that sucks.
Anyway,
I had a
life goes on.
neighborhood dispute today, but it's not
Did
good
you?
content, so we don't have to talk about it. But
Okay. That's
I'll
good.
tell you about it when you're down here. At work, I mean,
Righto.
not at home. I love my
Okay.
crackhead neighbors at Stabby. Slabador. Okay, Jason Riley, could you simply state the different taxes on beer, please? I feel like we've gone into that enough this episode. It's going to get really boring if we do that.
Yeah.
I
We'll
need
do
this
that
explained
another
a few times
episode.
to get my head around the different number of taxes for a brewery and
There
how
are
one
9.
tax gets hiked up every 6 months.
Yeah, there are 9
Yeah.
rates of tax for beer.
Let's do that another time, I feel. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that people ask the questions, and I don't want to ignore the questions,
Yeah.
but
No.
this is, you know.
It deserves it. It deserves a decent amount of time, but yeah.
Right, question. This is quite broad. Jet Rigetti brew pub recommendations for Sydney and Melbourne. That's a lot. I mean, there's two massive
Jesus.
cities there.
Fuck's sake. I would say go to Marrickville, Inner West.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. They're all good. And in Melbourne, wow.
We had a decent chat. Like, was it what episode? A couple of weeks ago?
Yeah,
About
we talked about breweries in Melbourne and that sort of thing.
area
Collingwood,
and-
Fitzroy, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stompo, Bodriggy,
All
have
of
a carbon
those.
neutral beer.
Yep.
What's that other one? There's the
The
Mill.
vegetarian
There's
meal.
there's the Mill, not the Meal, the Mill.
Molly
Brewery.
Rose.
Molly Rose is
there's
in
lots.
there. Just fucking hang out there. Smith Street's just the only place you need to fucking eat and drink anyway. So yeah.
Okay, Louis G. What country is going to win Euro 2024 football championship and why Italy? I don't know what that means. You know what that means?
No.
No.
Is it the ball, the game you play with the foot?
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
I don't care about soccer. It's a lame sport. That's all.
I don't mind it, but yeah.
That's it. We're done. All right.
That was fun.
Let's hang out next week in person, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it.
Be free next week. Fucking,
I might
fuck
be
it
free
up
next
down the
week.
Gold Coast.
Tell us if you got kids.
I heard they've got breweries down here. We should go.
I heard you should get a vasectomy. Have no more kids.
All right, good chat.
See you next week.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
See you.